Hello heroes and villains, welcome to Multiverse. Today, we are going to play a mission from the new DLC, Justice League Dark Cursed. So we will play the solo mission, and if we're gonna go, let's go all the way, we will play the elite version of that mission. Full disclosure, I played this mission quite a few times already, so I kinda got the hang of it. So let us talk to our friend, Zatanna.
Okay, we're looking for clues. Why does Hecate, goddess of magic, have it out for magicians?
This place is swarming with monsters. Come on, I'll race ya.
Wonder Girl, wait. My fault. I promised a show if we cleared out the theater fast enough.
Reminds me of a younger me. No thought, just go, go, go.
So the rollout I'll go
Yeah,
with is the robot
That's
sidekick.
exactly how you are right now.
Dang, they talk a lot.
I might have stitched myself up with that one, but you gotta admit, I've gotten better at improvising.
That's
shall
why you make
protect
such
the
a...
little places. By the power of the gods. I warn you. No. Back, mortal.
Too fast for you?
So there we go, so I might be able to talk a bit. So the loadout I went with is quite simply the robot sidekick, distortion wave, closed loop, anomaly, quantum tunneling, and heat vision. Quantum tunneling is probably my favorite quantum ability. Love it. It gives you a shield. It allows you to get out of danger very often. For anomaly, it is the supercharged generator. Also, it's a pretty darn good crowd control, and the same with distortion wave. Ironically enough, with even in DPS role, with Quantum, the crowd control is pretty darn good, even when you play in DPS role. And at first I thought maybe it's because I'm using controller gear. Obviously, controller gear raises my dominance. But there are some other powers, like with the light power, even when I play as a controller with controller gear, my crowd control is nowhere near as effective as it is when I play Quantum with DPS. One of the key points also of this loadout is that very often when I'll be fighting Wonder Girl or towards the end of the mission we'll fight Zatanna, Anomaly is perfect to interrupt them. Very often they'll try to make their big attack, and just as they're about to do that, I'll interrupt them with casting Anomaly, and I'll stop their big attack that way. So it's kind of one of the ways that I'm able to kind of juggle the NPCs so that they don't hurt my character too much. For the artifacts, I kind of like to use the Lazarus Pit. I fell in love with it some time ago. Yeah, here I'm using the Dead King's Scepter. I came to realize at some point that I use my backup a lot, and of course I'll use Orbital Strike. So I figured I may as well give it a chance, and I have to admit so far I kind of like using it. And here I'm using the Scrap of the Soul Cloak because I don't have any OP gear with this character. Oh, and the Bottled City Soda. I hate that when Zoom does that. Sometimes he just stands around and I guess the targets are... He didn't have a line of sight to the targets. Oh well, my bad.
For Olympus.
I try to use my allies a bit more. I have a tendency to wait and wait and wait a bit too long before using them. So I'm trying to correct that mistake a little bit. But obviously, as you saw, sometimes it just doesn't work. The allies are a bit of a mixed bag. I should probably make a video about that at some point. So you can see the crowd control of Quantum, even in DPS role. Dang, it doesn't work well. And heat vision, way back when, I used to like using heat vision, even though at the time it wasn't all that powerful. Then at some point they made it a bit more powerful when they revamped the powers. And then they nerfed it once more because then they added an artifact that would make heat vision more powerful. But somehow, But sweet irony, I'm just using heat vision without the artifact in this case.
I won. Admit it. I'm stronger.
You will be stronger yet. Bear my symbol. Burn through your magic and return it to me.
Ugh, it's too much. It hurts, and I can't control it.
Hang on, Wonder Girl. We got your back.
Oh, I guess they're done. So one of the biggest challenge here is that it takes a while to burn through the enemies. Although again, it might just be because I'm not full DPS. I'm like a hybrid DPS controller, so I'm probably not burning enough. But even then, I suspect that even a full DPS, it takes a while before going through the NPCs. So let us summon all the help we can get, and let's get this party started. It doesn't really matter which ally you use. I've used quite a few allies. Let's pull back it. So ideally, I missed my cue. So ideally, when you see that she's going to do her big attack, then hitting her with anomaly might be a good idea. Although somehow it doesn't seem. And just avoid those little balls of energy. Oh. So ideally, if you can interrupt her just as she's going to hurt you, that's probably the best move. Somehow anomaly didn't work this time. It happens. Also, don't wait until you're almost dead to use your supply drop, because by that time it's probably too late. I often see people who focus too much on damage when they choose which ability to use. I kind of like to use abilities like Anomaly, because even if there might be abilities that do more damage than Anomaly, Anomaly is actually a pretty good crowd control, and while your opponent is held or crowd controlled, your opponent is not really hurting you then. Like when she's standing in the air like that, she's not hurting you. So it gives you sometimes a breather to be able to heal yourself back up, or just to stop taking damage. Also, you have to cycle through your healing options. Like in this case, there's my supercharge that can heal me, there's my colas that can heal me, and there's my supply drop. So, oh, my robot sidekick died. Oh, poor little guy. Just 2 days from his pension. Can you believe that? So ideally, you will want to try to cycle through your various healing abilities. And also, that's probably another thing. Like, it might be a good idea. Like, very often people will be hyper focused on doing damage. But if you can have a few things in your loadout that will give you some extra survivability, that might be a good idea. So you can see we're burning her down slowly but surely, but we'll get there.
For my storm. Incoming!
See, I was able to cast Anomaly just a tiny second too late. She was able to hit me, and then she was held in the air. Let's use our supercharge, because why not? Also, the supercharge doesn't heal you completely right away, so there's a bit of a heal over time. So you don't want to wait too much at the last minute to use your supercharge, because sadly, if they keep on doing damage, even while your supercharge is healing you, they could still be doing damage faster than the supercharge is healing you. So don't be afraid to use your supercharge. Oh, and there we go.
I think I'm okay now, but
What was that? We interrupted Hecate stealing your magic, but no idea why she cursed you like that.
Magic was a gift, one I must take back. I see now whose magic I should have reclaimed first. Zatanna, bear my symbol.
Oh noes!
Come on, this way.
So let's choose a reward. Let's go for the boots. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. Oh, there is a...
Stage magic requires more than sleight of hand, flashy lights, and a fast tongue. It's crafting a story, building a desire, and then pulling off a delicious twist. Yeah, real magic helps, but there's a reason nobody lines up for Dr. Fate's recitations. Can you imagine what a snooze fest that'd be?
So I got a few of those in the open world, so now we're able to get this one. I kind of like to use ant blasters. I know it's not the people's most popular weapon, but I like to use it. I kind of like also to be able to push enemies. So again, you can see how effective the crowd control is. So it prevented those evil enemies from jumping on my poor multiverse character. At least for a bit. Let's wait a bit to heal. No rush. Let's hope our friend Zoom will help us out. Why am I using Zoom? I love his whirlwind effect. It's pretty much that simple. Sometimes it will pull also some of the enemies. But I love Zoom. He's one of my favorite villains. And here we are.
For my next trick, I'm going to need a volunteer. You! Yes, you!
Zatanna, stop! Don't do this.
Oh, I'm trying! You've gotta help me burn through this curse.
This isn't the show I had in mind, but I'm down.
If you hear a little piglet in the background, it's evil Rocky who decided that he was hungry all of a sudden. He didn't touch his supper and now he decided he wants to eat it. So I saw some people mention that they thought the area here was a bit small. It's big enough. It allows me to be able to teleport from one end of the map, from one end of the stage to the other. So I don't have an issue with the size of the area. And also, my hand blasters can help me sometimes interrupt workout. Sometimes my hand blasters can help me also interrupt enemies from time to time. So I was able to interrupt her just in time with Anomaly. So ideally you may want to save Anomaly for when she's about to do her big attack, but sometimes I'll make a boo-boo and I'll use it not quite at the right time. Or I'll use it instead of saving it like I should. It happens. Like here I am. Like what I just did here.
I love a little flash and sizzle.
So having two shield abilities gives them some extra survivability to my character, which kind of help against some bosses.
I'm going to enjoy this.
And you can hear sometimes I'll too trigger happy. I try to click a little bit before the cooldown expires. Also, you've noticed I was able to push Zatanna a little bit, so that kind of interrupts them also a little bit. So that's one of the reasons I kind of like to use Hand Blasters. Although I fell in love with Hand Blasters when I was playing PvP way back when. At some point, players were using block, and blocking some more. Basically, a lot of players when they were playing PvP were spam blocking, and I pretty much became a spam interrupter with Hand Blasters. Although they changed Hand Blaster since, so you only interrupt now when you start using the Hand Blaster. But it still kind of does the trick, at least a little bit.
Crap! Move! Move! Move!
Here I'm going to focus on Zatanna, and I'm going to pretty much ignore the summons. Oh, our poor robot sidekick was down. Ah, poor robot. And again, our friend Zoom. Ah, there he goes. So Zoom does a bit of crowd control as well, which can be helpful when the evil bosses summon minions.
That broke the curse, right?
Yeah, you did it. You know, you've got a real stage presence, and you'd make a pretty good assistant if you wanted.
Assistant? I'm thinking stage manager.
Oh, thank the gods. You're okay.
Not often you're a sight for sore eyes, but it's good to see you, Constantine. Especially now that we know what's going on. Hecate's taking away magic, like all magic.
So that explains the row unfolding in the House of Mystery. Dead man's been cursed, and Etrigan's warded up the place. None of the JLD can get in.
Just once, I wish you'd turn up without a carpet bag of problems.
Be fair, Z. The solution's in the bag too. Batman's not in the JLD now, is he?
We're walking him through it every step.
Not that he needs it, but of course.
Wow, sounds crazy. Good luck.
So it may have looked easy, but it's because I played this mission quite a few times, so I kind of know the fight very well at this point. So you kind of have to be able to anticipate a little bit the big attack that Zatanna's and Wonder Girls will make, and if you can interrupt those, you got most of the job done. But again, in this case, cycling through the various shields is a good idea. Cycling also through the various healing abilities, and it should be easy enough if you do that. So there you go, guys. So I can already hear you ask, when will we gain access to this mission? Sadly, we do not know at this point. We know it's going to be sometimes in October. Is it going to be early October, late October? We don't know just yet. As soon as we get more information about that, I'll let you guys know about it. Oh, I almost forgot. So when you play this mission, you will get some Justice League Dark Cursed Commendation. So let's consume that. So if we go into Deeds, Renown, so you can see the House of Mystery Renown. So basically you will need this Renown in order to be able to purchase the Elite version of the Deadman gear. So if you were wondering how can you get the Elite Deadman gear, now you know. You have to raise your Elite renown, and once you do, you will be able to purchase the gear from the vendor. If you have any questions, feel free to ask so in the comment section down below, and I'll see what I can do about answering your questions. Also, I have roughly, I have over 3,000 videos about DC Universe Online at this point. So if you do have a question about DC Universe Online, search in my videos. Odds are I already made a video that answers your question.